There is one place that holds the most secrets in the American West. Even in 2024, it remains a complete mystery. Based on historical accounts, there is evidence of human habitation here, dating back to almost 10,000 years. And still, most of it remains undiscovered to this day. Even with its deep historic significance, the information you can find on it is more scarce than water in the desert. I have been obsessed with this place ever since I learned what it looks like, so I set out hiking, hoping I would stumble across it. Hello, and welcome. Today, we are visiting the heart of the most incredible ancient ruins and bizarre geology in the United States. And where we are is I forgot! It's underwater! No! Glen Canyon, the most beautiful canyon in the world that no one knows about. For almost 60 years, its secrets have been locked away under the muddy water of Lake Powell. You did this! This should be a canyon! Except for the works of John Wesley Powell and Edward Abbey, I have never found any depictions of this canyon to do it justice. So, here's my attempt using Google Earth. Glen Canyon is a place where the Colorado River carves a strange, meandering path through hundreds of miles of soft sandstone before plunging into the Grand Canyon. This stretch of the Colorado is so complex and has so many side canyons, it is almost impossible to wrap your head around. Many of these side canyons were fed by natural springs, and all of them were home to vibrant ecosystems filled with animal and plant life. Tucked into these pristine canyons lived generations of Navajo, Hopi, Paiute, and Puebloan cultures. I had no idea this existed. When the Glen Canyon Dam was finished in 1966, the main part of the canyon flooded, along with its vast network of over 193 tributary canyons, including a significant portion of the San Juan Canyon. Armed with the knowledge that the drought in the American West has resulted in a dramatic drop in water levels over the last 10 to 20 years, I started searching for places where the old canyon is re-emerging. As you can see, something is changing here. I have found places where the water is receding and where Glen Canyon is starting to re-emerge into the daylight. Before I dove into the depths of the re-emerging canyons, I wanted to see as much of the canyon as I could from above. So I found a place high on a plateau with one of the most astounding views I have ever seen. Calculating my options. Do I send it? Or do I just park and backpack in? How's that for a parking spot? Alright, so you can see a little glimpse of Lake Powell, but we're going to go all the way out to the end of the point. And we're going to take a big look at the lake that shouldn't be there. Come on. Oh my God. Lake Powell was created in 1966 when the US Department of Energy was going absolutely crazy and building dams everywhere. They actually wanted to dam up the Grand Canyon. Can you believe that? Imagine if the Grand Canyon was just a giant lake. And in 1966, Glen Canyon Dam was completed, and the most beautiful canyon that only a handful of modern human beings ever saw was buried underwater. The American author Edward Abbey, who floated down the river for 10 days while the dam was being constructed, consistently refers to the canyon as, quote, Eden on Earth, a portion of the Earth's original paradise. It was first documented by John Wesley Powell during his first expedition down the Colorado River. He describes encountering massive, multi-story ruins upon entering Glen Canyon, and while floating down it with his crew over the course of several days, witnessing the most bizarre geology he had ever seen. In his words, it was a, quote, curious ensemble of carved walls, royal arches, glens, alcoves, gulches, mounds, and monuments. If it was around today, I'm convinced it would be a national park that would easily rival the likes of Yosemite, the Grand Canyon, Zion, and Yellowstone. This is probably one of the most beautiful places I have ever been to. And I couldn't even imagine if instead of all that water out there, we saw thousands of sandstone domes and the deep gouge of the Colorado River. What we are looking at right now is only a tiny, tiny fraction of the entirety of Lake Powell. And it is still so unbelievably complex. There are so many side canyons, towers, spires, that my brain can't even handle what I'm looking at. Here's a secret. Some of the most incredible Native American ruins and traces of America's history are buried underneath all that water. Good morning from the top of Lake Powell. Good morning, Dewey. Almost no modern humans visited this place, and therefore it is extremely hard to find pictures of what it once looked like. However, there still exist a couple. I have stared at these pictures many times, trying to put myself into that serenely beautiful place. I wish, almost more than anything, to have experienced this place before the dam was built. I have seen with my own two eyes places where Glen Canyon is re-emerging into the daylight. A tiny, tiny portion of the entire canyon. What I saw made me deeply remorseful of what humanity has lost, but incredibly excited about the future. I want to share this evolving story with you all as the canyon emerges and show you all what will inevitably return one day.